All right, we've got about 6 minutes until market open. Current game plan I have is NVIDIA going long. I like the previous day high bounce here. So right at market open, we've got VWAP and 199.85. Looking for a bounce there to the upside. Short, looking for a break and retest below on NVIDIA. Tesla, I do like the breakout of the pre-market high and previous day close range. Here playing on pre-earnings momentum on Wednesday. And then don't really like shorts unless it can break and retest below previous day high of 394.06. Uh, Meta, I like the pre-market high breakout here at 685. Also like the pre-market low bounce at 679 with previous day low below it, 677.58. Palantir, there's a lot of resistance level around previous day close, pre-market high, and previous day high, so I don't like that. What I do like is a bounce at pre-market low on Palantir of 144.37 with the weekly level. Looking for downside if it's break and retest to the downside. That is the game plan. So far we've got NVIDIA bouncing VWAP and holding it, but not looking strong. I would say Tesla Tesla is going to be my top choice, followed by Nvidia and Meta. I like Nvidia more here just because we have previous day high and VWAP right there. However, Meta does look stronger for a pre-market high breakout. I like the Tesla 410 calls. It has 10,000 open interest, so it's going to be the heaviest open interest. And then same with NVIDIA, I like the 205 calls because it has 25,000 open interest. I may just take one open breakout trade Tesla just in case it's a loss. I don't want to take two open breakouts right off the open. I'll look for a better setup for break and retest on Meta, Nvidia for the break and retest above pre-market high, or look for pre-market low bounce of Palantir here. So as of right now, Tesla is the one I'm favoriting for a market open trade. We do have a lot of buy orders hitting level 2, 1,200 lots right here. So I do see a lot of orders that are coming in. Making higher highs in the pre-market. So far, the setup from Meta might be better for pre-market low and previous day high bounce. Nvidia is just not as clean. Palantir could be a liquidity sleep down to pre-market low, or it could flush straight through this. If it flushes through pre-market low, I will look for a break and retest to the downside. I'll be a little bit more patient on Palantir though. Meta is approaching liquidity graph for pre-market low, previous day high. Yeah, the only market open trade I'm going to take is Tesla here. I'll look to just take a bounce setup or break and retest on the other plays that I like. Seeing a lot of buy orders still hitting the order book here. 1250 lots coming, 300. The bid is definitely, I'm showing more orders come through the bid than the ask. Got about a minute left until market open. Might have to just take these off the open as soon as I see buy orders hit time and sale on level 2. Got 10 seconds. I'm in Tesla longs. Break a pre-market high. Taking my first trim at 30%. Taking 2 trims. Stops are at break even. I've trimmed half my position already. Stops are at break even. 50%. Taking another trim. Down to my last runner. Just going to leave my stop loss at 199 versus 192 for slippage. Yeah. Might stop me out here. Stopped out. All right. Looking for my next setup. Meta's previous DHI did not update. I'll need to cross-reference and re-upload my Grisology technical indicator. Next time what I'll need to do too, I need to leave that take profit. If it hits it, it hits it. That shot straight to profit. 8,000. Okay. Palantir, we're breaking below pre-market low. I will look for a break and retest. Tesla, I'm not really interested anymore in. Palantir. Oh wow, that's an aggressive bounce. Palantir does look. Let me look at the. Palantir is fighting in between opening print. We are above opening print. Why does my volume footprint look like that? Not sure why my volume footprints looking all weird on Palantir. Not sure if I believe it's because the candle is just too massive. Oh wow, strong bounce on Palantir. I may have missed this. 650. I like 150 calls. I'm gonna need a retest. That's a strong bounce that I miss. Liquidity sleep right past it. Meta, there's an opportunity as well. Tesla's just ripping. Apple's ripping. The whole market's ripping. I do like Palantir, but I need a retest. Meta's not bouncing as aggressively. Nvidia is approaching my breakout. Pre-market high. 205. Contracts are too cheap for I like 200 contracts more. 205 is just way too cheap. Palantir looks the strongest, but I need a retest. I need a retest of at least pre-market high, previous day close. Two. Meta's not pushing as aggressively. Palantir, this candle is way too massive. It is showing strength, but I need a pullback. May have missed Palantir's trade. It's too focused on Tesla. Meta, I'm not liking the pre-market low bounce. We're making lower lows. We're now below VWAP and below opening print. Palantir is retesting previous day close. Going to see. I think a pre-market high with VWAP would be the best retest area. Meta's looking weak. Meta 679, 675. Palantir is holding again. We are holding previous day close, attempting to. I want a little bit more to pre-market high on VWAP for a retest. Nvidia is consolidating. QQQ, we've got too much resistance. We got previous day high, previous day close, and then we also have all-time high as well. The previous day high is acting as all-time high. Meta is showing extreme weakness. I need a retest of pre-market low. I think that was my game plan. 677.58. Yep. Strong selling pressure, approaching previous day low on Meta. Let's see here. Why don't I have? There we go. Palantir we're right at pre-market high in VWAP. I want to see how this 5-minute candle closes and see if it can hold it. Yeah, point of control for Meta we have right at pre-market low. And I don't know if I'll get that retest either. It's just flushing. Just flushing. QQQ is rejecting previous day close, pre-market high and opening print. Do have a potential break and retest opportunity for the previous day low here. This is overextended. I need a pre-market low break and retest. Palantir appears to be holding pre-market high, but we've got a lower low right here. I can't chase this. That was the retest right here from Meta. Previous day low breaking out of range. The only one that's holding up right now is Apple. Apple is above its previous day high. Nvidia is trying to hold its pre-market, or Palantir is trying to hold its pre-market high. Yeah, Meta, I'm not interested until I can see a retest around pre-market low of 679, which also aligns with point of control right here. Let's go back and look at Palantir. Palantir appears to be holding pre-market high, but I can't tell if it's going to reject previous day close or not. It looks strong. Retesting pre-market high. I gotta enter these. Entering pre-market, Palantir pre-market high, supply break and retest. Entered a little too late. I should have entered earlier. We are rejecting pre-market high and should have waited for this 5-minute candle close instead. Would like to take a trim at, high of day, potential full exit at previous day close. We are showing a lot of a volume uptick here. We got 2 minutes. If we can break above previous day close and hold above it, that would be a good sign. It doesn't look like it wants to. We have a new point of control. We're above point of control. We need to bust back above previous day close. Cannot hold this retest. Keep rejecting previous day close, making a stronger push. We need a push pass. Got about 50 seconds left on this, and we keep rejecting previous day close. Got 30 seconds left on this. Next candle, we need to push with strength. Get ready to trim if it hits your first trim. We need to bust through previous day close. We're above previous day close. We're above previous candle high. It's looking good. Come on, need a little bit more from our first trim. Come on. Give me high day. High of day would be a good trim. Need a little bit more. Come on. We've got the previous high is a point of control is 107. Need a little bit more. Come on, need a little bit more Palantir. It's not enough for my first trim. We're only about 8% in profit. 7 peaked at 11%. Needed 15%. Come on. Get this previous point of control. That'll be about 15% right there. There we go. Come on. A little bit more. These contracts aren't really moving. Strong rejection. Market is still looking weak. Got Meta about to make another downturn. QQQ is below its opening print and pre-market high. It's below its VWAP as well. We need more volume. There we go. We're above. We're fighting right up at point of control, trying to get back above it again. Nope, can't. Keep rejecting point of control. We're below previous day close now. Can't even get to my first trim. Come on, Palantir. Break back above previous day close. Market's showing extreme weakness. Everything's starting to flush. Yep. Not liking it. Not liking it one bit. We need to hold above pre-market high in VWAP. and reclaim previous day close. It's not looking good. We need to get above previous day close. These contracts are not holding up. Nope, can't hold it. Fucking Palantir, man. That's frustrating. It needs to hold above pre-market high and VWAP. If it's not going to hold above pre-market high VWAP, it's going to reject and flush. Yep. It needs to hold pre-market high. It's not holding. Can't push back above point of control. It needs to push back above point of control. We need a whole pre-market high and make a leg up, break above previous day close and make a new high of day. We're breaking back above previous day close. We need to push back this previous point of control here. But it is a good sign that we are holding pre-market high. This would have been the cleaner break and retest. Market is starting to bounce. Palantir needs to break this previous point of control and previous candle high. We're right, we broke above previous point of control. Need to break past this candle high. We need to take out high of day. Need to take out the high of day. This needs to move with strength. These contracts are barely moving. Rejecting high of day again. Wow, we cannot make a new high. Apple with a clean previous day high break and retest. Another push. Need to take out high of day. My goodness, man, it's not moving at 15%. These contracts are not moving. And it drops 5% just like that, but it can't gain 5%. It needs some momentum here. We need to blow off top. It needs to blow off the high of day with strength. That will give that momentum push. It needs to blow off top. We're above the point of control high of day. We need to get past high of day. Market is starting to bounce. Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, QQQs are all bouncing. We need Palantir to come up with the strength along with the market. I'm going to take a trim here. We've got high of day right there. My fear is it's going to reject it. Trimmed about 11-12%. Stops at break even. Next trim, I want to trim with a strength if it can blow past this high of day. And then another trim would be a previous day high as a potential area to trim most of my position, or a potential full exit depending on price action. Point of control is almost exactly the same, right below the highest point of control of the day. Might get stopped out of break even here. Strong selling candle. 5-minute candle's about to close. We are above previous day close, but too much selling pressure. As we get closer to higher day, we've got too much selling wicks. If you can't hold previous day close, it's just going to reject and flush. It needs to hold previous day close. We're not holding support. It's not really bouncing that strong. This was the play. Pre-market low bounce. This 5-minute candle is so aggressive. That's probably why we're just consolidating now. Opening 5-minute candle is way too strong. Flushed all the way down, then bounced aggressively. That's the reason for the consolidation. Shouldn't have chased this. Not a high probability, not an A+ setup to take. Stop that at break even. The bounce, pre-market low, weekly, liquidity grab, reclaim, enter here. That's what I should have done. Market's just consolidating today. No news. News events are Tuesday and Thursday. Not going to take any more trades. Just want to watch Meta here. My potential trade setup was a pre-market low demand break and retest. Let's see how it plays out. The reason why I like when looking at this, I like to take shorts for break and retest when we break out of the range. So previous day low is the bottom of the range. We broke it, but not a clean close below it, which would make me hesitate in the future to take potential pre-market low break and retest because it could bounce here. I might be better off waiting for like a previous day low break and retest, but that's something I'll have to look into as I gather more data. The video has been flat. Pre-market low bounce was the move. Pre-market low bounce has been a huge play. Previously, bounce at the bottom of the range. Break and retest has a higher probability when it's previous day high. That's what I've noticed. Don't really have a lot of success, I don't believe, with pre-market high supply break and retest, but that's something I'll need to collect more data on. But so far, previous day high seems like the better break and retest setups. Pre-market low are the better bounces. For sure don't want to go long going into multiple resistance like QQQ. I believe I've noticed it's not my edge taking QQQ breakouts into pre-market high, and especially if we got previous day close and previous day high right there. Not my edge. Tesla looks like it's setting up for a pre-market low demand break and retest. Palantir is attempting to hold previous day close to, but I have to follow my rules after my first trim. I need to move my stops to break even. That's just discipline with risk management. Even if it works out and goes in my favor, it could have gone the opposite and gone against me. So, um, good call. I took my first trim about 12%, which is a little bit less than my 15% trim. However, because high of day, we've shown rejection. Um, no reason to make that green trade go into a loss by doing so. However, on the flip side, if I had waited till 15%, and if this works out, it gives my trade a little bit more room to breathe. But this trade has been taking so long. Um, there was there could have been a higher probability that it was going to reject high of day again and flush, especially we've got previous day high right there. The market's been consolidating, so it's as long as I have a valid reason for if I'm trimming earlier, I think that's good. I will continue to track that journal and data to see if it's, if I am in the right thinking in terms of trimming, a little bit early versus risking, waiting for an additional 2 to 3% just to let my trade go all the way down to negative 15%. That trade-off doesn't sound worth it to me. It sounds better that I take my trim and move it to break even, um, with given the price action. So everything is not black and white. I want to read price action and make my decisions off those. Give it about another 20 minutes or so. Something that I've noticed is a lot of my trading is done in the first 30 minutes. If I take a trade or force a trade after 30 minutes, um, most times I'm just forcing a trade or I've looked back at my data, and anytime I enter a trade past 9 o'clock Central Time, uh, it, the edge is not in my favor. Most of the times, if I'm still, trading past 7 a.m. Pacific Time, uh, 10 a.m. East Coast Time, it's because I'm in a trade. But if I'm not in a trade, then I notice my win rate goes down and I force trades. So I already took 2 trades. Got that first trade as a Tesla winner. A huge trade there. Something I have to think about if it hits 50% or my 3R mark right within 30 seconds. That could be a good place to just full exit if I'm taking opening breakouts, just because it could do that and then just reject and flush through. So something that I'll need to track and notate for opening breakout trades, see if I want to full exit. However, on the flip side, the reason why I don't want to do that, if it broke through previous day high and kept running all day, I want to at least have a runner to capture those big moves, let my winners run, um, to really increase my profits and eat up, losses. Yeah, this morning I really like Tesla's setup. Pre-market high was breaking out, it was top of the range, and it kept making a higher pre-market high. And the pre-market high was above previous day close. And we were making higher highs throughout the pre-market session. That's why I like the Tesla long breakout the most for market open. Meta, I was liking pre-market high breakout. However, it just straight rejected it. So good to hold off on not taking the breakout, but I'll need to gather information to see if that's something I want to play for rejects or not. Most likely not. Meta, good play would have been my pre-market low bounce. Bounce right there. That would have been good profit at the market open. Again, another situation similar to Tesla where it could have been out 2-3 hour trade. So those are things I need to really start thinking through is these pre-market low bounces. Pre-market low bounces, top of range, opening breakout, whether that be pre-market high or previous day high, and the previous day high supply break and retest. Those seem to be the edge that I've been seeing more in the market that I start to recognize. And look at that, we got Tesla pre-market low, demand break and retest playing out. Something I like too is not taking being the first one in. I like it when it consolidates at a level like that, so I know clearly where my top or stop loss is. That's something I may need to look at as I continue to journal. Previous trading groups that I was in, they didn't like to wait for this. Was very aggressive with entries. However, the reason why I don't like being super aggressive with entries is I get stopped out, whether that's initial stop loss or there could have been a better pullback opportunity where my stop loss for is better versus if I take my first trim and I get stopped out, if the entry is not good, then I'm gonna get stopped a lot even after the first entry. Good play. Better play would have been a full exit or a tighter stop loss. Actually, my stop loss from an options contract perspective, my break even was, right around previous day close. So good read on price action. Uh, yeah, very good read of price action. I'm very proud of myself of recognizing that. Something I could have done too is maybe if I don't want to fully exit, I can take more aggressive trims. Apple, I'll need to start um, looking in my playbook arsenal. I'm starting to see more setups there. Google, I don't see so much. However, I have noticed some um, favorable setups on AMD. So maybe I need to look at AMD more than Google. Google has just been consolidating in the low 300 ranges. Um, so I'll start to monitor AMD a little bit more. Something I need to factor in again is market open trades. I need to look at 2 or 3 hour setup, and then my second trade in the day or third trade, save those for bounce and break and retest setups. Because the reason why I like getting in break and retest is, you're identifying where the trend is, and and finding a good entry. The reason I like those is because you have the higher potential to not get stopped out so early and really have an opportunity to let the runners run if the trade is going in your direction for the rest of the day. And those are huge risk reward returns that can make or break your week and month. See, the other thing too with my Palantir, I had a good call on my exit, but I think my entry could have been improved. I think I waited too long for the reclaim of pre-market high. Should have looked at it from, sure, we've got a little slippage from pre-market high here, but this second candle held the previous candle support and started to reclaim pre-market high. Should have took a little, entry right as soon as it didn't, as I saw, it didn't reject pre-market high. I think I waited a little bit longer, which could have made the difference of 15% for my first trim. Yeah, QQQ, this is what it's been doing this whole last year. I was trading QQQ, well, a little bit, I guess. Um, Not that good, wasn't profitable. This year, QQQ is still not profitable. A lot of frustrations, slippage. I think I do like the individuals more. It forces me to look for setups that I like in my edge versus QQQ. If I only trade QQQ, I feel like unintentionally I force a setup in QQQ when I was only allowing myself to only trade QQQ. I forced things that weren't maybe there. Now, because I open it to a set back basket of individual stocks, I don't flip between all the stocks in the market, just the top maybe 6 or 8 tech stocks that I watch every day, and look for setups within there. I think that has allowed me to be more patient to take setups that fit my edge, because I've got different things to look through versus when I was only focused on QQQ. It was much harder because I was essentially forcing setups there. Tesla is trying to hold its previous day low. I think QQQ might flush here. Let's see if it breaks through previous day low or pre-market low, or if it bounces. Something I'll need to note too is when there are no news events, I am starting to notice that market typically consolidates. No news today. Heavy news is tomorrow and Thursday. And then Wednesday we have Tesla earnings. I think a lot of too today the market was just consolidating, seeing how the conflicts in Iran plays out, measures that, and then keep in mind we are in all-time high territory. We hit all-time high on Friday. However, even though we hit all-time high, Meta, Tesla, Palantir are still far from its all-time high. I think Apple is kind of near it. Nvidia is a little bit near it as well, but there are laggards within the tech sector behind QQQ and the S&P 500. So far, Tesla pre-market low, demand break and retest has been holding true so far. Let me see what these put contracts would have been. 396. I probably would have done 390 puts, even if I entered before this drop. Yeah, I may have, yeah, 100% return. This drop right here would have got me 100% return. So that is a valid setup. Huge sell orders hitting Palantir 2,500 lots. I haven't seen that. See a lot of buy. I still see sellers stepping in. I'd be shocked to see if it goes up, but based off of order flow and time and sales, it looks like it's going to continue selling off for Palantir. But the chart is showing it is currently bouncing opening print. So see if this is a fake out. I just don't see a lot of buy orders hitting the tape. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here. Price is just consolidating, holding previous day low, and I got a work meeting. I gotta hop in 10 minutes here. Overall, uh, good session. I'm happy on my execution today with Tesla in terms of entries. Don't know if I would like the full exit thing. I like the thought of holding runners, but I'll need to, go over the data. And if I'm getting stopped out a lot at a 2 or 3 hour trades at market open trades, that's something I may need to pivot and just implement in my process to do a full exit of 2 or 3 hour on market open trades. Palantir could have improved a little bit on my entry. Was not part of my game plan. So um, look, it wasn't part of my game plan. Didn't have an A plus setup. Really low net ROI. Could have been a loss I would have ate into my Tesla profits. So something I'll need to continue to journal. I thought I saw there was a relatively pre-market high break and retest setup. However, it wasn't in my play. I need to only trade what's in my setups, which were the bounces. I missed all those, and I think because I missed it, I was looking to force another trade, which will eat me in the long term. So I need to stick to my process and my game plan and system. And if I miss a trade, I miss a trade. I'll just journal in the future. For example, a pre-market high of Palantir break and retest setup worked out. Need to journal why I didn't have that in my game plan in the future. So overall, good session today, and look forward to reviewing it and getting better for the next session.